When that review eventually comes out a few months from now.
Lanny, as I mentioned, you served as special counsel to President Clinton in the late 90s. I know you've read the reports and heard the commentary from pundits who say this is just another example of how the Clintons do business, that they don't want to be transparent, that they work under their own rules. I want to play before you respond to what Senator John McCain said to my colleague Andrea Mitchell yesterday.
The question I think that's going to rise over time is, how can we be confident that once she carries out what she tweeted, that is that she wants all the emails known, how are we going to know that? How are we going to have verification of that?
How will we have verification of that, Lanny?
Well, we're going to have verification by her being believed that she's going to turn over everything in third parties, including subpoenas. Senator McCain, Congressman Dowdy, anybody in the State Department will have 100% access to every email that was preserved. Fact one. Fact two is that nobody has disagreed with me as a lawyer that what she did was lawful. Now, all the what-ifs, suppose that Alex is reporting all speculation. We don't know whether. That's not fact. That's speculation. So I always say, it's my mantra, can we all wait for the facts to come in? Here's what we know are facts. One, what she did was lawful as long as they were preserved, because the law changed in 2014 about private emails. Fact two, what she did was open. She sent these emails to thousands of people with that email address. So there's no intent to hide. Maybe a judgment call can be questioned, but no intent to hide is a fact. And fact three, this is not without precedent. Why are we not talking about Jeb Bush using not state.gov Florida, but his personal email with his own server that didn't get the headlines? The fact is he did nothing wrong. Hillary Clinton did nothing wrong, as long as they're preserved and there's nothing to hide.
If that is the case, why haven't we heard, in your opinion, from Secretary Clinton, other than the tweet?
Well, I think Secretary Clinton, unfortunately, has a brain educated by a law degree, as I do. And what we're trained to do, unlike Alex, who just went through, he's a great reporter, a couple of minutes of all the things we don't know, not one of them a fact, but he's right. We don't know whether there are Martians on the moon, but he definitely says we don't know. What we know as a fact, and Hillary Clinton knows, that what she did had precedent. Colin Powell used the same private email system for government business, and that she wasn't aware that she was doing anything wrong. Now she's trying to catch up with the facts. But I can tell you here today, maybe breaking story, she's ready to be transparent. What she said in her Twitter account 2 nights ago is everything is going to be made available. I'd love to see Governor Bush say the same thing. Governor Bush hasn't said that. He only released some, not all. So I'd like to see everyone take a breath, and even my friend Alex, whose work I greatly admire. Let's differentiate what we don't know, which is fair enough, from what we do know, which is fact.
Okay, but I'll tell you this, Lanny. People will say you're deflecting, on Alex and his accurate reporting at this point. He's not reported anything that is untrue. He's following the story, traveling to Miami. And others will say you're deflecting to Jeb Bush. I want to quickly read what the Associated Press put here. This is what makes what Clinton did both sneaky and some say genius. If you want a complete record of Clinton's electronic correspondence while she was helping to decide matters of war and peace, you'd have to knock on her door and ask politely, or take her to court. And that speaks to a little bit, I think, of what you were saying regarding her being an attorney. With that said, she may very well run for office, where we know transparency matters.
Do you mind if I respond to what I think was a little jab at me?
No, it wasn't a jab. I would have told you.
Well,
no, I'm saying this is what people will say, because you have my correspondent, my colleague Alex on, and you're pointing to his reporting, and you've brought up Jeb Bush. When I clearly ask the question simply, I think, what do you believe, or why do you believe she's behind this story, responding only so far through Twitter?
So 2 things I really would like to respond to. I'm not criticizing Alex one iota, but I am saying accurately, Alex will not disagree. He's reporting speculative, not facts, what we don't know. Secondly, I am not deflecting. Jeb Bush is a fine man. What he did was nothing wrong. I'm saying there's a double standard in media coverage where we're not pointing out that there's precedent for what Hillary Clinton did, whether it's a governor or whether it's Secretary of State Powell. That's all.
Well, Secretary of State Powell did not control his own home server. We know that.
Excuse me, Governor Bush did. So when you make these distinctions, you're in argument now. You're not doing facts. You want to argue with me, that's your right as a host of a program.
Well, I'm not a host of a show that argues. I ask you a question.
Then why not talk about Jeb Bush having a home
And we have
server?
discussed what's referred to as the document dump by Jeb Bush as well, but we had you on, as you well know, as a guest to discuss this.
Excuse me, it was a partial release. It was not a document dump. That's false. His press secretary said that. You guys reported it. He released a portion. He did not release his personal.
Well, you
so there was
described
no
as
dump,
this
and he
as
had his own server at home, and you didn't say that at the same time. You mentioned General Powell didn't have his own server.
Let me ask you this then. You referred to the situation as being something that the secretary is behind right now, and she's analyzing this as an attorney, as you pointed out. What is the necessary step if she is to be transparent and put this solidly behind her and get the confidence of those who are on both sides of the aisle, as you well know, questioning her?
Thank you, and I appreciate the question, because now we're all in agreement. She needs to get all these facts out. That's sort of my mantra as a crisis manager. We're a little bit behind the curve in her doing so, and I think she is now turning the corner on her Twitter. She wants to release all of these emails, set up a process of a neutral examining all of them. That would be the State Department, and I think Alex will report that the process of examining 55,000 pages as well as everything on the server is available to the State Department, available to Congressman Dowdy, available to Senator McCain. The word subpoena, the word request, everything is going to be available, and you're absolutely right. She needs to make that clear, and I think she's begun to do so.
Well, I think Alex will continue to do his great reporting, and he doesn't need any advice from anyone. And thank you, Lanny. It was a pleasure, of course, getting your insight as always. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, New York's LaGuardia Airport is still working to get things back to normal after yesterday's dangerously close call. It happened